Hey everyone, you might be wondering why I'm a Lego man now. Well, I'm out here trying to do something that might be fun to help everyone figure out how we're going to do our season. We're going to give a few examples here. We've got a Lego team behind me, actual Lego team. They are the astronauts, and they've had a few experiences in First Lego League Challenge and in First Lego League Explorer, way back when it was junior. We're going to go through some scenarios and talk about how we're going to do things this season. Right now, they're all stuck in 2019 behind me here, where they could all get together and they could all meet and do fun things, and everybody knew how to do that. All the mentors were happy and all the students were happy and everyone was in the same space. Some of you can do that this year, as long as you're wearing your mask and keeping your space and keeping your numbers down and checking temperatures and all the other things that you're supposed to do for your local areas to maintain safety. But a lot of teams can't do that. So we're not going to focus on this model. We're going to focus on the remote model and accomplishing the missions and working on the project while we're remote. So now we'll fast forward here to 2020, where you may be in a room all by yourself with nothing but a pile of Lego robot parts. The students may be at home working on a computer or a Chromebook. They might only have a cell phone that they're working with, or they might be borrowing a computer from somebody. So we're going to come up with some innovative solutions to use the technology that we have to overcome this real-world problem. That should sound really familiar. The first step to getting through the Game Changer season is realizing that the game is going to change. You're not going to necessarily be able to do all the things that you used to do. You might start out meeting everybody on a regular basis, and things may change to where all of a sudden then you can't. You may be having to start communicating with the team through Zoom calls. Even some of your mentors may be having to get on the Zoom call to visit with everybody so you can do work and talk about the project, maybe even build the robot. One of the things that we're going to do this season is we're trying to put together some videos to help you out with some ideas. Things are not necessarily going to be perfect, but they're going to be fun anyway. But for this season, we're going to have to all be game changers, whether we're doing First Lego League Challenge or First Lego League Explorer. First, we've got to talk about some misunderstandings, maybe some myths, some practices that have been going on. One of those is that the coach shall not ever touch the robot. Well, not saying that that's not a good practice if you can get away with it. This is not going to be possible this year. We're going to have some things that are going to happen, and we're going to have to really work at how we're going to change the way we do things and the way we think about what is a mentor's role. Originally, FIRST was founded on the idea that the mentor and the students are working together. That philosophy has always kind of been along the lines of, I do, you watch, I do, you help, you do, I help, then you do, I watch. How it winds up is, you kids go do that. The old core value of we do the work is meant to include the coaches in the team. So there is a time and place for the coaches to be involved with the robot and making contact with the robot. That doesn't mean they should be designing it. It means that they should be helping the kids get their ideas put into action. The reality of it is that the coach is certainly allowed to touch the robot. You have to touch the robot in order to be able to teach the kids to do anything with the robot initially. You've got to help them. And the thing that we want to avoid is that we want to avoid the coach building the robot all by themselves. We're going to get on Zoom calls when we're having to be totally and completely remote. And we're going to employ a technique called their ideas and your hands. Because you're over here with the robot and you've got all the parts, whether it be in your living room or your garage or at the office or in your classroom. And they're all over here at home or out on the internet someplace. So you've got to find a way to communicate. You've got to find methods to go through that. So we've put together a video to build a collaboration station to help show you ways that you can video that process of putting a robot together. We're even going to take a team and put them on the hook and have them build a robot with me. After you and the team have got a robot put together, it'll be time to work on programming some missions. To do that, you'll have to set up a camera and you'll have to work back and forth with these guys on the Zoom call or Skype or whatever you're using. And you'll need to film that and show them where their programs haven't quite got where they need to go and do all the fine tuning. So now we've reached the part of the video where we're going to talk about the remote event hub. The remote event hub is supposed to be this monster thing that's going to let us run events and do all kinds of things, upload files, what have you, and help us control our competition. It's this monster of a deal. Right now, something that's probably even scarier than the monster that we were just looking at is the fact that this remote event hub is still being programmed. Now, it's going to grow and it'll be good, but we're not going to get to that until November. And that's part of the reason why we're pushing the season out. It's because we won't have the software that it takes to actually run events until December. And because the remote event hub still hasn't been programmed, we're not going to get into any details because, quite frankly, we don't know the details. But what we've got time to do is get our teams together, work with our volunteers, and try and get all the mentors happy in a place where we're going to be able to do what we need to do when the time comes. When the remote event hub does come around, there'll be a few things that we'll have to do, and we'll go through those steps right now. So once we've got some dates for our competitions, those won't be done in a day. The competitions will actually take place over the span of 4 or 5 days, and we'll have some steps that we've got to complete. One of the first steps is recording your practice round. This is done so we can make sure that the way that you're filming your robot rounds allows all the referees that'll be online the ability to see what the robot's done and to actually score the match. So there'll be referees that review your practice round and will let you know if you need to change something in the way that you're filming, at the angle you're filming, or maybe something that you need to do at the end of the match so that they can see what's taking place. We'll need to have at least one of the students around to drive the machine. One thing to help build the machine and help with the programming over a distance, using that whole concept, remember it's their ideas in your hands. But when we get to the competition, we need to be putting at least one of the kids on the robot, 2 if we possibly can. But we have confirmed with FIRST that it's okay if we can only get 1 student because of your restrictions, and have a coach act as the co-pilot. Not actually launching the robot, but getting things ready for the next mission. After you've gotten some feedback from the referees about your practice match, you can go ahead and film your 3 robot rounds and upload those 3 individual videos using the feedback that you received about your practice round. You'll also make a 5-minute video of your innovative project presentation and upload that to the remote event hub. That video needs to be unedited, so you can't do a lot of fancy TV magic. It just needs to be a continuous run. And again, we're talking about the no harm, no foul season. We know things aren't necessarily going to be perfect, and you should watch the video where we've gone over some of the things to watch for if you're doing a fully remote presentation with your team. You'll also make a robot design video. That video will include details about the robot, things that you've learned, changes that you've made along the way, some information about your attachments, talk about your strategy, and then you'll upload that video to the Remote Event Hub. Once our remote volunteer judges have reviewed the team's innovative project presentation video and their robot design video, we'll get together on another call for some Q&A. In that Q&A session, we'll talk about the things that the judges saw in the video, and they'll ask questions. We'll also be trying to look at some of the core values that your team has exhibited over the season. After the referees have scored your 3 matches, they'll get together with you and the team to review the scores and to visit about anything that they may have noticed that you could have done a little bit different. After that call, you're pretty much done for a little while, because all the judges will have to get together and perform their deliberations, and will have to go on to other teams to round up their scores. So it's quite a lengthy process, and that's why we've got a little bit more time for one of these events than we normally would have, trying to run everything on a single Saturday. Once all the scores are in and all the judges' deliberations are done, we'll get everybody from their event back together for one big internet award ceremony. At that award ceremony, we'll find out who won what awards, we'll see where your robot placed in the grand scheme of things, and we'll find out who's moving forward to championship. So while I don't have all the information to share, I've shared what I can, and I hope you had a good time with my little Lego video here. Really thought this would be easier than just talking to a camera or sending you a note, but I'm not so sure now at this point. You guys can let me know, and hang in there. Maybe next time I won't do a Lego video. Bye.